Welcome to the TYP live chat. Today, my guest is a French artist, Chlo Hej, who is also a huge sea lover. So, bonjour, Chloé. Would you like to say hello to our audience and introduce yourself?
Hello, Tian. Hello, everyone. And first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm a French artist. I do paintings and mural paintings. Most of my inspiration is the ocean and maybe you can say the spiritual journey we are all in.
Yeah.
And I'm based in Haute-Gorge, so it's near Biarritz in the southwest of France. And yeah, that's it.
Well, it's a very beautiful place. For those who have not yet been to France or been to the Basque region on the west coast along the Atlantic Ocean, it's extremely beautiful, famous for the wave. So if you like surfing, that's really the place to be. And how lucky you are to be based there. And I wonder, Chloe, when I browse, your website, your Instagram accounts, I see a majority of your artworks are around the sea. Whether it's the latest ICU, so SEA, ICU series, or Earth and Ocean, or the surfing stories, those series. So where does come from this love for sea? I mean, this passion for sea? I'm just curious.
I think it's a deep calling that came within when I was a child. I used to go to a place near Bordeaux because my grandparents used to live there.
Yeah.
So it reminds me always some precious moments of my childhood. And this connection with the water and the sea I've always been here somehow. And as I start getting myself back into painting, the first things I wanted to paint actually was the sea. It was like a calling. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I love sea too. Actually, it's a build-up love because I grew up in Shanghai, and I only discovered the sea, really at a later time. So I read a lot about the sea. I saw the sea or the oceans on the TV. But when you actually come into contact with it, it's very different. And that's what I love your art. I love especially the 30-day painting series because when I see the colors and the corals, the waves that you paint, it really reminds me the experience when I float in the water. I'm a very bad swimmer. So I'm always a bit scared in the water. But when I see your painting, I forgot about all the fear. It's really just the beauty that strikes me. And I just wonder how do you, get inspiration and manage to find your style? Because sea is always such a popular subject through the art history, whether it's landscape or romanticism, the German romanticism period, they paint the sea. But how did you find your style between figurative, abstract with the spiritual side?
I think the way I try to paint sea is more like a feeling than a visual object. It's what I feel when I'm close to the sea, when I swim, when I surf, when I dive, when I just have a walk on the beach. All those precious emotions, I just try to keep them like in my heart, in my mind. And when I get back to my canvas, it's those feelings I try to express on the canvas. So it has nothing to do with I think the history of art as like academic art. But more about sensations, emotions, feelings. And that's why it has this spiritual touch, I think.
Yeah. Well, I guess from that perspective, you definitely succeed because it evokes, all those emotions inside me. It's not like I'm doing analysis, of an academic painting, perspective, all those things. It's really like, first it's the emotion, the memories. I think even for those who may never dive or surf, when they look at your painting, they can feel the freshness or also related to some memories from reading or from watching a film. And I also see in your Instagram that you posted a video and that you said, you know, stood by the sea on the beach with this huge canvas and you there doing the painting. It looks so romantic, but I know being an artist is difficult. So this is usually the way that you paint, or you paint mostly in your studio, and those videos is more for getting a escape away.
I think it was, yeah, you're so right. It's so romantic, actually.
But they are absolutely fascinating. They actually made me want to try paint. But I know it must be difficult for you on the beach with the wind, and on the sand it's not as smooth.
I remember one of my teachers always told me that if you want to paint something, you have to see it. So by the end of the summer, I thought maybe I can start a body of work of paintings. But I start like really in front of the sea, like very facing the elements. And I had this, you know, in my technique, in my artwork, I use a lot of water. So I use the element itself to create the painting because I use a lot of painting, a lot of water in my painting, so I can absorb all of those transparent layers and everything. So I thought it can give a special feeling to my paintings if I start them in front of the water, the elements. So that's how the idea came, and I'm very lucky. I'm a lucky girl because my boyfriend is a cameraman, so he's a video maker. So I asked him if he can make some videos and movies about all this process. So he agreed, and we had this project together. So after the interview, I'm going to post the last reel about this adventure.
Okay, cool. I know there are stories behind, but you're lucky have, you know, a professional, someone also know you and supporting you. But I really love that. And it's interesting to hear you talk about that you you dilute the paint with the water. And then you also, I think that's how you get the feeling of the water, because when I look at your paintings, it's sort of between watercolor and oil painting. The shades of the color, it's so nuanced and very, very beautiful. And then do you do sort of like the finished work still in your studio?
Yeah. What I love to do is to put some marks on the canvas before I start working. In my last collection, I had a lot of pattern of coral. It gave this, and after I put a lot of layers of very transparent painting, and this way I find myself like it's like creating like a watercolor, as you said, but on a canvas. And lately, I've been very inspired by the color-filled artistic movement. It's very interesting. So I'm still improving my technique. You know, there is always new things to discover.
You're trying new things, experimenting with new things. And I think what impressed me most, Chloe, is also, you know, that you have been doing different things. You always loved painting. You told me that when you were little, you're doing the mandala drawings with your grandmother. And actually, from the 30-day painting series, one of my favorite is Living Mandala. The one that we can sort of between the mandala and the corals. I find it's very beautiful. And then you do different things. You worked as an architect, and finally you chose your path as an artist. I find it very impressive. And what's more, I know that you also launched a project, founded a project called Hope Wave. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Could you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Hope Wave is a project I founded with my artist friend, Mickey Poulang. He's also a French painter, and he also paints inspired by the ocean. So when we met, we both shared this love and this inspiration, you know, by the ocean, the sea. So we decided to create something, you know, in common to protect the ocean with an artistic point of view. What we do with Hope Wave is association, and we create artistic projects such as exhibitions or mural paintings, and all the money we can gather, we send them to local environmental projects only for protecting the ocean.
Okay, so it's really like through art and you raise people's conscious awareness, but also raise the fund to support the project to protect the ocean.
Because we think that art can be like a vector of emotions, and through art, maybe you can, as you said, raise consciousness about some topics that people never thought about before. And that's the strength of art. So we try to work with many artists as possible who are inspired by the oceans too, and together create like beautiful events and share a lot of our love for the ocean, and raise money for projects.
For the projects. Yeah. Wow. If there's any artist who's looking at this video, please feel free to contact Chloé and join the Hope Wave. I think it's really great because I had to say, I've never been an artist, and it got this dream, image for me. And somehow I also know people think artists are like people who just living in their imagination, in their creative world. Do paintings, drawing, sculptures, but sort of like disconnected from the world, or maybe doing super engaging works. But I find your way, it's a very, let's say it's a mild and it's really great way to engage the public, but also share your passions while pursue your love for art. So really brave for that. And I just wonder, as an artist, you did not start as an artist at the beginning, so you went through this transition. You have done different jobs. For our audience, or for normal people, as I would call that, what do you think? How we can support artists? What kind of support? What would you like to get from us to share further?
That's a good question.
I know by your artworks, yes, but sometimes, not everyone has a budget, to acquire an artwork. But if there's any other way to support you, I just wonder anything that you have in mind.
So if you're talking about money, of course, you can buy an original painting or a print, but I think the most important is to not be scared about talking to artists and share with them what you feel when you watch their paintings. Because as artists, sometimes, we struggle about showing our work and not knowing what the response will be from the public. But if you share to an artist that you really love what you feel when you see their paintings, it's like a gift for the artist. You give them a gift because you also open your heart to them, and it means a lot for the artist.
Oh, I see. Well, I think a friend of you joined, right? No, I see. Yeah, that's interesting because it reminds me also the conversation I had a couple of weeks ago with another artist, Juta, and it was the same. She was, telling us the worst thing is you went to an art fair and you said nothing. And as an artist, she could not see the emotions or the reaction of the public looking at her art. Mm-hmm. And we were like a point, tell me if you like it, or even if you hate it, you can tell me. But we would like to have art and as a trigger to connect and to talk. But and it's great to hear from you. And that's why I would like to do this live chat, to give people the courage, to talk to the artist. In the end, you're like every one of us. And
we're all human.
Exactly. It's just a different occupation, whether you work on computer or you work on the canvas. In the end, I think there's something similar, and that's the emotion that we share. And also, the love for the nature, for the sea.
Oh yeah, that's something so endless inspiration.
Yeah, I really look forward to your new series. Is there
Yeah, me
any
too
time
actually.
we know when there will
Time-wise.
be reviewed?
Sorry, once again.
When it will be start to get ready that we can get to see it, that you put on your website or?
Yeah, so actually, my next exhibition will be on 21st until 23rd of October in Carrousel du Louvre in Paris.
Yeah.
So I will exhibit one painting, and the next exhibition will be in Bayonne from 28th to of November to 10th of December. So around this time, so late November, I will share all my new paintings with you guys.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look forward to go to Louvre, Carrousel de Louvre to find out your new paintings, and
Yeah,
I
I can't
really
wait to
want
see
to,
you too.
yeah, look at in real. And wow,
Always better in real.
yes, yeah, exactly. Well, bon courage, as we'll say in French. Good luck for your new project. Enjoy
Mm.
the life by the sea. I'm really jealous. And thank you again for creating these beautiful paintings as well as your initiative for the Hope Wave project. So I wish you best luck. And I hope maybe to see you in another live chat with me.
Yeah, I hope too. And thank you for sharing art with the world like you do. It's very nice and beautiful. Thank you.
The pleasure is shared. It's a sharing experience.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chloe.
Thank
And thank
you.
you everyone for watching. See you next time.